Welcome back to the Gauntlet number 3, the grand final. We have the Chiefs up against the Princesses of Out of Order. They've made the fairy tale run. They've got all the way here, but now it is the boss monster that they have to take down.
Yeah, they're everybody's darling right now. They're the fair maiden of OC Rocket League, and why not? With a dream run like this, it hopefully continues. I mean, they're against some very storied opposition in the Chiefs. We know that the Chiefs roster are capable of shutouts, and I don't want that to happen just for the sake of Out of Order. We've seen some good stuff from them, but this is a big ask.
It is tough, just like it's a tough ask for us to ask the community to fund the prize pools, and B-Bears has come through with $50. We have secured a Gauntlet number 7. We can now plan 4 weeks ahead. We're working on so much stuff. We're trying to get more videos, some more highlights, some more player stuff, more casters.
I think that's what B-Bears was trying to do, was get himself back on the deck.
We're trying to just get more for you guys, so hopefully some more stuff out on Twitter to really show you what the players are all about as well. See if you can really get to know them. But right now, we have to look at the Chiefs. They are the number 1 team in the region, undisputed. They've taken down the Gauntlet now twice. Yep. They were disputed not long ago.
That's true. That is very true.
But they have confirmed it by taking back-to-back championships in the Gauntlet. They have secured every single prize pool so far. They know this is maybe a team that on fire is going to be a struggle, because the Chiefs are not fast off the block, but they have the 2 best scoring players in the league right now. Torsos and Kami, top points per game. Kami has the 2nd highest goals per game, with Torsos with the most assists. They have been really incredibly fast. They've stolen a lot of boost. They feel like they're good at all parts of the pitch, and most importantly, they don't let people score goals on them.
Yeah, and I think
they don't let people take shots.
Yeah, I think that's best summed up in a few short words: clear and present danger. They're always there. They're always in the mix. Yep. They're constantly peppering the opposition's goal, and they're putting up the numbers to back it up.
Every single week, in every single competition. The big question round was Zen. And last week, he showed that he had the confidence. He was able to step up in a role that was left wide open by Drippe. And even still, he's playing more defensive than I guess anyone would really want. It's not a full rotation, but he's doing well enough, and he's scoring goals, and he's contributing in a very meaningful way. And at the same time, this has allowed Torsos and Kami to really take leadership roles in the team and start scoring those goals and being extra aggressive, knowing that Zen may not be committing as much as they'd expect.
Well, there's some big shoes to fill. I mean, you've got a player like Drippe, leaves a roster like the Chiefs. Zen was always going to be the one that would have question marks over his head in terms of what he brings to the roster. More importantly, how can he fill the role that Drippe played? Would he fill that role? Would they have to adjust themselves and take on a different play style to perhaps just cater to that learning curve that Zen's been on? He's had an astronomical rise so far, and I'm keen to see where it goes.
It's time for Order to see if they can finally take down the entire Gauntlet. It has been a massive run from them, and this was not the kickoff. Chiefs just didn't go. I don't think they were ready, truly, as Kami was not there. It seems it was a bit of a server issue, so it might be a restart. And it looks like we are going to have a restart, ladies and gentlemen. Both teams have agreed, so we will be right back into the match. But that just gives us more time to talk about how impressive Chiefs have been in the last couple of years. But it's a brand new Chiefs.
It is.
It has only 1 member of the original roster. And when you talk about the original roster, you look at Jake, and he was that really solid leader, sort of in terms of in-game communications. He really was an overlord for the team, made sure everyone was looked after. And Torsos was sort of maybe middle ground, and Drippe was the quiet one. Drippe ended up becoming a real leader later on, especially when Kami was on the team. And now it's just sort of stepping up again. So Kami has to take leadership, and Torsos has always been that kind of middle ground. He's not the most, outspoken person in terms of his in-game communications. So if we can see more coming out from him, they should be solid. But got a brand new roster. You can't talk about 2 years of domination anymore. It's a completely different team, and they need to start a brand new legacy.
I think that goes without saying, though. There is a target on their back every time they take the field. Everybody wants to beat the Chiefs, and Torsos has been through all iterations, but in, I guess, complete opposite to how we saw the last match start, it is Out of Order that are under the pump in this one, and Sticky, again, out of boost, but thankfully he's bailed out by Jules, who asked a few questions. And, well, can it be Jules that finds that pass? Doesn't quite beat the third man, though.
It does seem that Zen looks a little bit uncomfortable, and that is not what the Chiefs will be wanting to do against an on-fire. Again, they're not the fastest starting team. They're known for losing early matches. Another miss from the consistent player of Kami. So when you have those two teams together, you've got Siki, you've got Kami. Those are the two players that you're really looking to anchor each team to be a focal point so that the other two players can play around. And if Kami is not playing at his best, that could also mean massive strife for the Chiefs.
That's right. I mean, if you look at this, I guess there's an extra angle as well that you want to take in terms of the stories and how they match up. Jules, he was left behind by Zen after Dumbo departed that order roster, and Jules was left to, I guess, put together a roster that he thought could contend, and it's taken a while for them to gel a little bit, and it's finally now in this Gauntlet number 3 that we see it starting to gel somewhat, but it is the traffic that goes the way of the Chiefs for the moment.
Zen was struggling in the back of the pitch, but he moves up for that one. That's where his confidence lies, in the attack. If they can get him forward and taking shots, he will be fine, but it was off the back of a mistake from Out of Order once again, and from Torsos getting a good direction into the center.
Thankfully for them, it's only one goal, so hopefully for them, the floodgates don't open. The Chiefs don't pile on 2 or 3 goals, because we've seen good things in early matches from Out of Order. They've been strong in game number 1 and game number 2 tonight. Can they put it away here?
Ooh, that is a big save, and it's Kami just getting enough of an angle. He knew the 50 was going to be coming, and he held on, and another good one with Zen reading the dunk and being able to keep that one out. But Out of Order putting on 2 big shots with potential and able to really put it up against the Chiefs roster.
Another chance potentially goes begging as that is a whiff from Kami that just leaves now an opportunity for Out of Order to build them something in attack as does peter out. Zen, you're right, he doesn't look as comfortable as he has been. He's another confidence player, and when he gets going, you can tell, because the team benefits from that. But in this roster right now, it's not quite there. They're not quite finding those passes, and this is probably a bit sloppy from both these two teams.
Torsos there forcing the player to go around him and setting something up for Kami. But it's 1 and 2 at the moment, and there's no 3. You can see there the pass across, but Kami was behind, playing defensive, and maybe a lack of trust could be the start of the downfall for the Chiefs. They still have the lead for now. There's defensive plays to Out of Order. And that is the name of the game. They don't want to be letting in a lot of goals, because they haven't been a high-scoring team so far, except for the few plays earlier on.
Torsos here. He's a real live wire for me, though, because as you said, he might struggle with in-game communication. If there's a player to put a finishing touch on, or, put that pass in field, it's Torsos. Time and time again, he's delivered. Time and time again, he's come out on top. And man, oh man, what a player.
This is, as well, a best of 7, so we do have plenty of opportunity for the Chiefs to settle in. A slow start can lead to something a lot more. And hopefully we can get that updated on the scoreboard, as well, as the scoreboard looks to be ticking over of its own regards. But Jules not able to put it in, and no one finished that one off. Right now, Chiefs all sitting in their own net. It looks scared play coming out as 1 minute remains. No aggressive half play until it just rolls all the way down to the other end.
Yeah, time and time again, the crossbar has been the best player in OCA.
Speaking of time and time again, there is only 40 seconds left on the clock. Not a lot of time here for Out of Order to bring this back. That's a brilliant shot from Kami, but it hits both posts and doesn't go in. Zen should be able to finish it off. It just took one quick play, one quick counter attack over the top of Jules. He gets caught with his pants down. And there is nothing left to protect the net.
There is nothing there. But there was a period there where, I mean, attack after attack.
Yeah.
That the Chiefs had to just sponge up and absorb.
And that's not what the Chiefs are known for. They usually stop the shots. They go out and challenge them. They were all in net. They were playing pretty scared. They were worried that maybe something would go in off the out-of-order attack. And it was just the fact that, I think it was Jules, didn't quite get it in on the opportunity that he had, that it ended up being 2-0 instead of 1 apiece.
And we all buy them the first match win, or game win, should I say, sorry. Because, well, Order can't continue their good run of matches early on. But, I mean, it's a different opposition, isn't it? It's a different caliber of team, the Chiefs. And from their perspective, there is that mental hurdle sometimes that you've got to climb. And that, from my perspective, not showing the same level of confidence they have in previous matchups. They took it to Icon in that previous series. Not so much so far.
And it's really worrying too, because we said Chiefs are slow starters. And I think this was a slow start, apart from that first goal where they really set something up and let Zen finish it off. They didn't really do all that much. There were mistakes. They were playing very defensively. They weren't playing, I think, the style that we saw last week where Zen was confident. It's back to week 1 where we saw Zen really shaky, really worried, and Kami not being as solid as we saw last week. He was incredible last week, not missing a single ball. It's not the same play, and they needed to, and Out of Order needed to start off getting those wins.
But as you said, it's not great signs for Out of Order because Chiefs aren't playing that well.
Yeah.
And they still managed to win.
Yeah, so Out of Order were meant to win that. They're coming in hot. They just took down Icon. But they just lost game 1 against a shaky-looking Chiefs.
I mean, I'm keen to see how they build into this, whether or not they can pull themselves out of the dirt a little bit, dust themselves off, and get back on the horse and get going in game number 2. Because Chiefs, as this match goes on, they're the ones that are warming into it.
That's the best part about these two teams as well. We know that they can adapt, that they can grow throughout a series, and I do expect by the very last game that both will be back on their top form and trying to take it out. But for now, there's a lot on the line. All of the prize pool comes down to this one match. It's all or nothing, all of the glory, and Chiefs would not want to lose to Out of Order of all teams.
Would certainly be an upset in every way, shape and form, because Out of Order, they've played out of their skins and they're not out of sorts, that's for sure. Siki here just maybe plays with his foot a little bit too long. Thankfully, Decker, he's been a bit quiet from what we've seen previously from him tonight. Game number 1, he wasn't as confident, wasn't taking those shots. He was shut out of the game somewhat. And Chiefs now, they've kept that ball in a very dangerous area. Thankfully, it bobbles out. But Out of Order, what can they string together? They've been great on those infield passes. Maybe that's what they need. Still
stuck on defense, the Chiefs. Really not finding any passes in the midfield either. So it's going to be down to solo plays. And Torsos, if there's any man on this team or either of the teams that can make a big play, it's him. It is going to be the 1-2. And Zen set something up for Kami. It took Torsos putting a little pressure on, but Zen, very smart play off the corner.
Yeah, Siki was just left wondering too as well. He was just sitting on that back wall, wondering where to next. His rotations were messed up a little bit and didn't have any speed on the ball in the end. So he was pretty much factored out in that defense. So
Chiefs, another early start, and this is an open net. Where's Jules going? He just completely disappears, yeets off into the left half of the midfield. Look, he jumped up backwards. He jumps off backwards again. You know there's a front flip button. Well, I guess I pressed the forward button in space, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, look.
That was... I've never seen anyone lose the rails, and he's been so good all day. In fact, he's gone upside down. Maybe he's lagging out. Yeah, he's gone up to 1,000 ping. So we're going to see some good sportsmanship, at least, coming out from the Chiefs. They're going to wait on this one. Oh, okay.
No mercy.
All right, ego boys, and it looks like they're going to... hang on.
What do you?
Zen just like, hey, do you want a 2v3, and then goes up and scores. Classic ego Zen. He joins the Chiefs. He's like, yeah, everyone's so bad. We would have won anyway. Let's just score. Nothing
was
to
that
be
your
done.
Zen impersonation?
Yeah, he sounds a lot like that.
Yeah, okay. For anyone playing at home, that's exactly what he sounds like. The man is merciless, absolutely merciless, and he's a ruthless competitor too.
Well, it's a chance for him to get a few goals on. This time it's Kami. Honestly, not great competition here, but it is what happens when you have Jules on your team. He sometimes just has some of the worst internet in the world. So a disappointing game 2. It was already running the way of the Chiefs. So we'll find out how that goes. Zen still wants to score. I guess this is OC Rocket League now.
Oh, Kami defending.
Well, Kami doesn't want
He's
Torsos to
defending
get
the net.
more goals per game than him, to be honest.
No, that's true, actually. You can't be padding your stats in moments like this, can you?
You know, the worst part is for out of order, you know, they're going to be annoyed that Chiefs are, you know, playing on. Realistically, when you're playing a tournament match like this and you're on out of order, you really need to play on and try and win the 2v3 no matter what. This is getting pretty fun.
It's Groundhog Day. I saw 4 back-to-back demos there.
The thing is, if Zen had said, you know, hey, let's restart, we get 2 free goals or something, I think both teams would have accepted that, but he just wanted the 2v3. He's just in on it, you know?
Yeah, no, look, this is...
He's all in, he's ruthless. He's just going in, he's still getting the goals.
Sicky's playing like a man possessed. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he's
He's
trying to
going
get
for
all
the
the
demo.
demos.
This is potentially him stats padding.
But I, you know, you talk about these teams and you talk about Deca being a confidence player. I can't imagine him being too happy right now, thinking that the Chiefs should maybe be different competitors. But that's not how this game goes. I mean, even in all the rules that you ever have, technically the Gauntlet doesn't have rules. We just kind of use the common sense rules from RLCS and whatnot and try and be as lenient as possible. But this is kind of how matches go.
Yep.
So you can't expect anything differently.
Are you very attached to the name The Gauntlet? Like, could you call it something different in future weeks?
Well, I mean, I almost called it the Punch because the pinch and the punch.
So it happened on the first day of every month then?
Well, no, but, you know, you get the gist. It's a name, right? It doesn't...
Could you be drinking punch while, you know, producing
I'll
content?
punch you in a second, mate, if you keep up with this dumb joke.
Yeah, go on. I thought we were going for a family-friendly show. We're inciting violence.
I came up with a few names. I'm not attached to any name. I'm a terrible person. I've got the pinch. That wasn't named by me. That was wasted back in the day.
Okay.
He basically came up with that name. And someone else came up with the punch. I was like, oh, yeah, you know, but let's just call it the Gauntlet. Who cares? Because no one could help me decide on the name this time.
What about the slipper?
What do you mean the slipper?
Well, if you're going to go for, like, objects, that...
No, but, like, the pinch is relevant to Rocket League because there's pinches in Rocket League. The punch would have been relevant to the pinch. And honestly...
The Gauntlet? You pinch your fingers together in
the Gauntlet is the format.
It's a hand gesture.
Yeah.
Like the pinch is like...
So someone was to come to me and was like, hey, you know, why the Gauntlet? Why not just change the name, man? I'll be like, oh yeah, well no, I don't care about the name, you know. But for now, we've got the Gauntlet. It's not about the name of the competition. It's about the competition itself. It's about the players. It's about seeing Top Rocket League. It's about seeing what we can do for the region where it feels like we don't have true competition.
I mean, right now, the competition's looking rather gaunt. I mean, you can write this game off. I think the benefit for Out of Order right now is they can afford themselves a bit of a reset here. It's best of 7. So from their perspective, they aren't on series point like they would be if it was a best of 5. So they can get themselves back into this, but it's a hard road. It really will be for them. So, I mean, they need to get themselves set in early on. Jules, obviously, that's a bit of a disruption to the game plan that they were trying to put in place. But Chiefs, maybe it could work against them.
It could, because they're now in a spot where they're like, we were just 3v2, we just got a 7-0. we just relaxed with that game. That could lead to them being chilled out, but that might also be to their advantage. If they're relaxed and having fun, maybe Zen will feel more confident and just go for stuff. So, double-edged sword. I think in the end, it's kind of up to see what the rest of the series shows. I really hope to see what happens in the next game. The players are definitely
there's not a lot to talk about
too.
in this match, but I think if you want to talk context, if you want to talk the series is so far, the series is it's good England.
Yeah.
But out of order, they've probably even to some degree surprised themselves.
Yeah.
And I think all things said and done, they've been playing very, very solidly. This was a bit of a blip on the radar. Jules was not present for a majority of that match, but maybe it gave them a chance to just reset because for a lot of these teams, it is a mental hurdle. It is a mental block coming up against a team like Chiefs.
I'm worried. I think that might be more annoying for them. You losing to someone lagging out or losing because someone lagging out. Sure, they might have lost anyway, but definitely losing because of an issue you don't have control of can be really frustrating.
Well,
it is also a really important thing if they can bring it back. You need to be able to bring it back from anywhere, and if they can't, that is all on them.
Yeah, it is. I mean, a sense of helplessness sometimes in those sort of situations. So let's just see how they bounce back.
Well, already looks like trouble as we've seen Jules go flying past one and a double commit from the others. This could be all she wrote from out of order. They might not have that mental fortitude, but it's a big shot from Decker that just gets saved out from Zen. Another big save as someone was breathing down the neck of Chiefs net.
Chiefs now, they have no momentum on this ball. It's get caught in an awkward area. Jules still struggling a little bit somewhat with maybe some issues here, but Corsos does a good service for Chiefs, clears that away.
Shot on, and there should be a follow-up, but Zen just goes wide. Or was it Corsos? My apologies. It seems right now that the Chiefs are just on the net. They're taking their shots. Zen is confident. He's done that so many times. He's got the freestyle mechanics. He just waits for it, gets the Doomsy dish in, and that's a good angle too.
It is, and I mean, that's the sort of angle, though, that you can't give to Zen. Zen will take that. Zen will run with it. Zen will also put numbers on the board as well. So, from their perspective, they do go one down in this, and Chiefs are the kind of team that can close up shop around you if they so choose. But order, and out of order, but not out of sorts. They're not out of this game. Can they get themselves something on the board just to square that ledger?
It is 1-0, and Corsos now. He's been not playing his best in week one. He was absolutely on fire. He's missed a couple today. If he can get on board, they'll just start running over out of order. So this is the chance right now for out of order to bring it back if they can settle their game, if they can settle their mind.
Sometimes maybe Torsos is his own biggest critic because they all strive to a level of perfection, but Siki can't quite navigate past the defensive Chiefs, and Decker maybe just feigning out a little bit too much, but Smother doesn't actually result in anything, but too many numbers committed to just that one pass here, and that could catch out order from a defensive perspective. They've survived for now. Kami looking for that touch, can't quite find it, as they do now just give themselves some breathing room out of order.
And we said it's time to step up, and it really feels like it's a back and forth, but the mistakes are dropping now. Everyone's finding their rhythm, finding the shots. It hits the crossbar again. For Decker, that's devastating. He's been so close twice now. Another opportunity for out of order. Just gets cleared away. They're finding it. Then they bring this back. We're starting to see the intensity of the game step up as each team aren't worrying so much about not making mistakes, but about scoring goals.
That's right. There was a period there where things were slow, and that was Chiefs just dictating the pace, slowing it down a lot. But you can see the urgency now start to creep into the game for out of order. They're starting to try and put that ball onto the backboard, trying to look for those infield passes, just trying to work their way into the match. And hasn't yielded a result thus far, but it's probably been the best they've played so far in the series.
It's been good to see, but they haven't been as good as they were earlier in the day. And that's unfortunate for them, but it's against the Chiefs. You know that you can't play your best. They're going to shut down a lot of these plays. They get in your face and make sure that you can't play the way that you want.
Not only that, too, they've sat back and potentially even watched their opposition play the last couple of matches. So they know what they're in for, too. And yes, they didn't have the run-in that their opposition did, but that's what experience counts for. The ability to just navigate your way through, and there's a deep rotation, thankfully, from Kami. Prevents that one from going in.
It's good to see Zen as well, taking some aggressive stances, putting some shots on net, and be willing to push forward. He's been further behind at the back half of the pitch. Now he's trying to alpha out even Forsos from being able to hit the ball.
It's Kami looking to just continue the pressure that is being mounted on Out of Order. Just over a minute left on the clock, and maybe they need to find that goal soon because, as I said, Chiefs are a team that can navigate their way through the toughest of times. And they're definitely looking far more comfortable in this match than we thought that they might have, given how hot Out of Order had been in previous games.
There's a big clear from Torsos. 40 seconds left. They could secure the goal and thus the game, and that might just be securing the series. They are 2-0 up right now. Out of Order. A chance for attack. 30 seconds left. It's up to Zen to get that one out, but it's Jules to keep on the attack. Kami into center field, but it goes straight to Decker. Decker doesn't get the touch, and Kami almost follows it up.
Yeah, that was nearly a second bite of the cherry for Kami there. Again, just a few mistakes starting to creep into the game of Out of Order, but Decker couldn't get there fast enough.
He was playing too close behind. He had the chance to play in the midfield and beat out the defense. Couldn't get there. That was their chance. 5 seconds left. Will Chiefs look to get onto match point and be on the road to get 3 gauntlets in a row? They have proven twice now that they are the best team in the region. They are one step away from taking down the Out of Order team, from taking that fairy tale run and putting it straight in front of the Troll. Can they get over the bridge? It doesn't look like it right now.
Yeah, it might be a bridge too far for them. I think that's the thing. They played some great Rocket League, and you always ask that question of an underdog team. Have they played their grand final? Have they given everything so far in the previous match?
It really feels like, I mean, they've had a long day, and they didn't come into this feeling like they were as hot as they were in previous games. And maybe that's a little bit of tiredness coming through. These teams, they're used to playing maybe this long in the past in big events, but not in the last 6 months. Or Out of Order haven't played this long for quite a while. It's good to see a competition. It's great to see them make this run, but this just could be the end for them.
It could be. I mean, as we said, it's a best of 7, but this is game number 4. This is, this is gauntlet point for the Chiefs.
And we talked about reverse sweeps over and over today. There were 3 opportunities for teams to make a reverse sweep in best of 5s. But that's a best of 5. You make reverse sweeps in best of 5 semi-regularly. But this is a best of 7. There are only a few examples in the entire history of Rocket League where a best of 7 reverse sweep has even happened, and none of them really have been against the Chiefs.
That is for sure. And ooh, that is a poster for Torsos. Just cleaning that one up in the end.
Well, Torsos is playing across, and Kami getting this side post as well. It's really confusing for the defense. Jules was not expecting someone there, and that just puts Chiefs again in the lead. It's relentless. They're just dunking over Out of Order. Who can stop this team?
That is the question. And I mean, only the Gauntlet holds the answers. In the Gauntlet we trust. For now, as Out of Order have got to get themselves out of jail. They are yet to get a game in this series, and so far they've had the dream run, but maybe that's where the fairy tale ends. Maybe the big bad wolf that is the Chiefs will be on a rampage.
The thing is, Order haven't built a house of bricks. They've looked like they're made of straw right now. The mistakes are coming out. They're not really setting anything up, and unfortunately the house has to fall down eventually. Still 4 minutes remaining, but it's a tough ask for Out of Order.
It is, and even then, how they keep that away, I'm not too sure, but there's an open net. Zen makes no mistake, and that is just on the back of some constant pressure coming out. I mean, you really only want that constant pressure in a massage, right?
It's tough because they're getting the rub down Very difficult. It's 2-0 now. It's an open net. And this is looking tough for Out of Order because they haven't really built these opportunities yet.
It's true, they've forgotten the oil.
The thing is, Chiefs as well, you know, we talked about Order changing their play style, being more about building pressure, but that's what Chiefs are good against. They've got these defensive passes that maybe aren't coming up spectacular right now in this series, but they're good against pressure. They know what to do against it. It's not the play style you really want to do to try and upset them.
That's right, it's confidence under pressure. That's the one thing they possess. Confidence under pressure will allow you to make those defensive passes in very, very high pressure environments. That's what they're bringing to the table. That's what they've been producing. And I mean, I don't think Out of Order have asked the right questions.
It just hasn't been there, you know. There's no real shots on net, no big opportunities. 2 shots on net in terms of the scoreboard compared to 8 coming out from the Chiefs, and that's going to be actually still only number 8. Didn't count as a shot apparently, so
okay, stats bug.
Because it came off the defender. No,
that's 100% a shot on net.
Yeah, there you go. So 3 now, 3 minutes, 8 shots, and this is dominant from the Chiefs. The only team to come close was Icon last week, who took them to a Game 7. But that was after they were 3-1 up from the Chiefs. So some dominant displays. And in tournament, these guys are unbeatable right now. They are looking to make their run back to Worlds later on. And they are proving a real point that even with Zen, they can do whatever they want. And look at this. This is dirty. This is disgusting. Torsos off the back, reads it perfectly. That's a tough angle to get.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Get out your set squares, get out your protractors. We're going into graphics 101 and the angles that he produces. Oh, they're criminal. That's absolutely criminal.
Oh, put this man behind bars, but he'll just escape once again, just as they're out of defense and straight into attack. It is tough for Out of Order and now feels impossible with a 4-0 up, and the way that everyone is playing in this lobby, it's just confidence left, right, and center for the Chiefs, but nothing at the moment for Out of Order. The closest opportunity they've got yet, and that is it. Jules, he doesn't want to be down and out. He's the guy who can really bring it back for Order right now.
That's right. I mean, right now, Out of Order are having their house blown down by the big bad wolf, and Jules is just standing there barricading the door while the rest of the house is being blown down.
He's a brick. He's a one brick right in front, just trying to hold on for dear life, but the rest of the house is falling apart. It hasn't been finished. The bricks are there, but they're not laid down on solid foundations.
Yeah, they need more to their defense.
It is just not there. This is it. Attack. It's going down, but they thought Torsos had it. Torsos should beat this one out. He's so fast. You know, normally if it was another player up there, I'd be like, oh, you know, is this going to be a 50-50? But you can see that Torsos is going to win the race to that ball each and every time.
And his read on the game is certainly giving him an upper hand at every 50-50, every challenge he takes. Decker, what can he do here? Oh, man, they've left that ball in the court of Zen. And Zen's just happy to keep pressuring. That's an easy tap in for Torsos. Didn't really have to do anything there other than put the finishing touch on. And I mean, Chiefs, this has been run of traffic all their way.
And he's just farming goals now. That's his hat-trick. So Torsos might just come out of this as the top goal scorer in the entire league, taking over Kami, his own teammate, and Express, of course, who is unable to win a series today. So this leaves Chiefs in an insurmountable position. They're undefeated in every single gauntlet. They have not lost a single series. 2 of them against Icon, 1 of them against Order, and 1 of them against Justice Esports. They have proven that they can take down the entire region. But we have had a massive performance from Out of Order. Regardless of this one match that really felt like it got away from them, you have to remember being able to take down 2 top teams and a 3rd team who are challenging that top all in one day is an incredible task. It really was a special day for them, and they've secured themselves a 2nd seed. So They are guaranteed to stay in the Gauntlet for quite a while now. They've proven that they truly deserve in a top 4, because I think there were definitely some questions around them earlier.
Yeah. Prior to this week, there was a lot of question marks over whether or not that they could, they would have had to potentially go back to, the RLO on Saturday and have to qualify through, because, they hadn't been playing their best. They hadn't really shown their potential. Tonight, completely different story. It was, a story of confidence going forward. The passing game was good. The way that they were starting to really string, it all together was looking quite threatening. And I mean, from their perspective, they had maybe had a weight lifted from their shoulders. There's no burden of expectation now. They're out into the wild. They're out of order. But as I'll say, time and time again tonight, man, oh man, they are not out of office.
This is just a groundbreaking performance from the Chiefs. Previous week, it was close to Icon, so again, the questions came up, okay, are the Chiefs the best team? Well, Icon have now not been able to perform against Out of Order. The Chiefs completely crushing a 4-0 here in the grand final. This is their third. They've played 4 series, and they've had 3 4-0s.
Yeah.
They've swept 3 different times against 2 different teams. Actually, 3 different teams. They've swept every other top team. Every top team apart from Irrelevance.
I mean, right now, they're the ones with the vice grip on the Gauntlet.
It's just too much, It's not chainmail. It's full plate at the moment for the Chiefs. They have got that Gauntlet. They've had it 3 weeks in a row. The 3-time victors of the Gauntlet. Incredible performances in the past, and maybe today it was a bit of a shaky series from Out of Order, but you can't put it past that the Chiefs are the team that you have to beat right now.
Yeah, and I mean, full credit though, Out of Order played out of their skins from them tonight. We saw some really big efforts. They dug deep, but more importantly, they gave themselves the right start in nearly every series. They were all out of the gates hot. Jules was scoring left, right, and center. I mean, Siki and Decker were also instrumental as well. Siki was definitely on the end of some fantastic passing from his teammates.
It was great to see Decker get all those really nice goals. Just absolute bangers, just perfectly on target. You don't need to be spectacular, and he did have that spectacular double touch, but you don't need to do anything other than just get really nice touches whenever you're at the ball, and he was doing that tonight. So lots of takeaways from Out of Order. The order is put in, but they did not get it away, and that is the Chiefs taking it down. That is the Gauntlet number 3 done. It's been a spectacular night. Thank you to Jim.
It's about to be a spectacular night.
Thank you to Jim, who is in my bedroom right now and has come to cast. You'll be back in 2 weeks.
That's right. I mean, 3 years ago, esports was fledgling and it was in its infancy stages.
We didn't have an RLCS.
No, we were casting in our bedrooms 3 years ago. 3 years later, we're still casting in our bedrooms.
Just together now, because you moved closer to me.
Oh yeah, the gravitational pull.
Wow, you calling me fat, mate?
Has brought you into me, yeah.
All right, buddy.
Belt size equator.
All right. It has been a spectacular night. It's been great, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
In 2 weeks. Next week we'll have Pyrrha again for his last ever cast.
Say it again.
Pyra.
Yeah.
Pyrotechnics. Yeah. He will be back next week for his last ever cast. It's been great having Jim. It's been great having all of you here tonight with us, sharing the experience of the top Oceanic Rocket League and sharing a fairy tale story too.
Quick shout out to everybody that donated to keep this thing going. You said we're 4 weeks ahead.
Yeah,
as well. That's phenomenal.
We're $480 of prizes ahead. We're starting to think about maybe we run something a bit more major, a big monthly or a big finals event. Maybe take a little bit out of the week 8 and be like, okay, we'll pile a little bit together and run something bigger. That's just because of all the awesome support that we've had. Yeah,
it's good to see it. I think it's been a good showing on the field from some of the teams, but more importantly, off the field, the showing has been just as good from the community.
I love that. And we've had great viewership. We've had everyone tuning in. I don't have a lot of followers on my channel, but they're still coming and tuning in and watching. We'll hopefully get it bigger and better every single week. We promise to try and make it a little bit better. I think we had some major upgrades today in terms of our audio.
Yeah. But we can go another gear.
We can go up and up every single week. So stay tuned. Next week, we'll see the Gauntlet once again. But this Saturday at 7 p.m. You can tune in to see who is going to be challenging the top 4 teams in next week's Gauntlet with the RLO 3v3. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for the donations, and we will see you next time.